Hello, hello, beautiful people. Happy January 23rd. Coming to you live from my spare room. This is Bobby the Awesome. And I am going to share with you today's calendar thought from Mom. The calendar came from Mom, not the thought. And the daily reading from the Body, Mind, and Spirit book. And we'll have a brief little discussion. Here goes for the calendar. Be happy. Not because everything is good, but because you can see the good in everything. Ooh, that was a good one, huh? It's true. It's looking for the silver lining or the sunny day after the rain or the rainbow after the rain. How does that go? But looking for the good in things. It's a way better mindset. I feel like lately, guys, I just feel like I got some even bonus positivity momentum. I'm just so excited. I feel like just so much is coming to fruition. Things are moving fast. Lots to look forward to. We're only maybe 3 or 4 months away from winter ending here in upstate New York. Even that I'll try to have a sense of humor about because I think I'm going to just book more trips to get the hell out of here. At any rate, let's do today's reading. Sarah B. says, if someone is going to control me, it might as well be me. There you go. Ours is and must be a selfish program. Our recovery must be the most important thing in the world to us. Sometimes friends and loved ones are confused and hurt because we spend so much time and energy working on our recovery. It's hard to explain why. Yes, we must go to another meeting. No, we can't skip it just this once. But however difficult, however hurtful or confusing to others our behavior might seem, we must take care of our own needs first. We're no use to our friends and family if we've relapsed, and no use to ourselves either. Our choices must seem like selfish ones. Our recovery must come first. Before the demands of others or even our own comfort, we need to keep our new determination and work toward a new way of life. Before we told ourselves we'd quit tomorrow, that something would happen to make us change. Now, at last, we have the tools to arrest our addiction, but the tools will only work if we use them. Today, help me be in control of my own destiny. I think the quote in the beginning just kicks us off beautifully. If someone's going to control me, it might as well be me. I kind of thought that the reading was going to be more about standing up for ourselves. And, well, I guess it is. We should stand up for ourselves in our recovery. I have decided to change the word selfish to self-devoted, at least in terms of my recovery. They make the most important point here. We're no good to anyone if we've relapsed. And what increases our chances of relapse? We talk about this all the time. The situations, the emotions, the not being present, the trying to numb, the putting ourselves at risk, hanging on to money that we shouldn't have, all of those things that could get us to relapse. And all of those things generally come out of us not taking care of ourselves. If we're taking care of ourselves and we're being maybe more mindful, maybe our relationships are improving, maybe we're handing over our money to our significant others or someone to manage it, so there's less to fight about. And if there's less fighting because we're working on our recovery stuff, such as handing over the money, or we go to a meeting and we learn things about ourselves or others that we can put into perspective that just make sense to us. All of those things in our recovery are way more impactful to our lives in a great way. And we can think about this. Could you have a better relationship if you were going to a meeting, let's say even 3 days a week? So we'll call it 3 hours. If you were still in a situation to travel, we can call it 4 to 5 hours if you have to drive back and forth and then go to the meeting itself. But let's call it 3 hours total. 3 nights a week, that would be 9 hours. And if your spouse was giving you grief about going to a meeting, let's compare that to when you were gambling. How many hours a week did you gamble? I would imagine it's a lot more than 9. It might be 9 hours per sitting, right? Or 9 hours doing whatever you need to do to chase the funds to keep the gambling. it's going to be a lot more than 9 hours for sure. Never mind the thoughts in your head and how you're not present for what the spouse wants or needs. So don't ever feel guilty for work in your recovery. The young girl that I mentor was telling me, she had told me how she had like shared her gambling addiction, the fact that she had it with different ones of her friends, and some had given her a hard time. And I guess, and I told her, I said, some of it's shock, they don't know, like when they laugh initially or they just don't understand. I told her to give it some time. And the last call we had, she said she disconnected from one of the friends. That was good self-devotion. It wasn't selfish of her. She has to protect herself. If this friend is not acting like a friend and supporting her, and I don't think it was just because of the gambling, but this person was not a healthy person for her, so she had to separate. And that's protecting her recovery. And I'm very proud of her for that. And is it the easiest thing to do sometimes to stand up for yourself? No. But even that's part of your healing and your recovery, is standing up for yourself when you need to and learning when you need to and standing up for the right things. I mean, you can't fight for, freedom of time, say, if every time that you said you were going somewhere and you had freedom of time, you went off and gambled. You can't stand up a week after quitting gambling and be like, oh, well, I deserve my free time to go do whatever. You might not be ready for that at that point, or you might not get trust or support from the people around. So the recovery is going to teach you if you're listening and if you're self-aware, when you should and could stand up for yourself, or when maybe sometimes you need to compromise or lay off the gas when it comes to other people. And again, you just don't, the 20 questions has things like, do arguments, frustrations bring about the urge to gamble? And most people say yes. So if you're frustrated or lonely or angry or those things that we, the gambling community, addicts and people have attested to and said for many, many times, and we all have this in common, or a lot of us have this in common, that these are triggers, we need to do whatever we can to protect ourselves from those triggers. We don't need to have emotion around all these things. And I've talked to you about the 30-second rule. So just a reminder, the 30-second rule is you can't stay angry about anything for more than 30 seconds. Like, you have to take back that power after 30 seconds of being angry. I mean, you're capable of being angry for more than 30 seconds, but it's not worth it. So that the practice is to get over it in 30 seconds. That'll be helpful. Another trick to use with this is, how important is it? Will it matter in 3 months? Will it matter in 3 years? Will it matter in 30 years? Like, that's how you could distinguish if it's worth having an emotion that may set you off to go gamble. If you're protecting yourself with tools like this, and that's what it's saying, we're starting to get our tools as we work our recovery. If we're working them, eventually what's going to happen is our attitude is totally going to change from acting like an addict to hopefully acting like a person in recovery, and people around you will eventually see it. Not on your terms. Don't set expectations around it. But if you keep doing the next right thing, which includes being self-devoted, if you need to rest, if you need to go for a walk, if you need to go to a meeting, you do need to do what you need to do. It's going to be different for everyone, and you're going to have to work through and communicate with your significant other or anybody who's impacted by this that might cause you the stress where you feel like you shouldn't go to group or whatever. And I get it. It's a slippery slope. How do I have enough time for one, but not the other? Or am I neglecting my family because I'm spending time in the meeting? Just keep going back to that principle of, if you're not spending time in the meeting and that your chances go up of you going back out and you're out, how much time are you really spending with your family? Or if your family disowns you, or your wife divorces you, or your kids don't talk to you, These are all consequences. These are all real consequences of gambling addiction. Maybe they haven't happened to you yet. Maybe they never do, or maybe you've experienced it. So think about that when you're standing up for yourself and your recovery and doing the next right thing. That's the wisdom of the day. All right, beautiful people. I hope you have a great weekend. I am going to do some self-devoted stuff. I'm going to hang out with someone much smarter than me in my recovery community and another person who is in my group. And we are, even though it's supposed to be 12 degrees here, we are planning on going for a walk in the morning and doing some traveling. So fingers crossed, I come back and my lips haven't frozen off from being in upstate New York. I get it. Some places you're listening are much colder than me, so I shouldn't be whining. But I'm going to whine anyway until I live somewhere warm. And then I'm going to tell you every day how grateful I am for the sun and the beach and all the nice things that I'm living around. And I'll probably whine about snakes and spiders because that's what will be in those warm places. And you'll think I'm a big hypocrite, like I'm never happy. When I really am. There are some things that are bones of contention, and I don't mind sharing them with you. All right, beautiful people. Have a good one. I will talk to you tomorrow.